serious. To bring the guard down.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the the Bring Your Guard Down podcast. I'm Tony Incomparable, and of course today we have Rocco Rompamuto here.
That's me.
You got a little bit of laryngitis.
Yeah, master. I push my voice. I have a very special technique. I throw my voice, you know.
You throw where?
Yeah, like Luciano Pavarotti. I can throw it.
Yeah.
Tonight
You got a haircut.
Yeah, mi taglio le capelli.
Why?
Because my wife told me I don't look good con le capelli long.
No?
No, she said I look like Neil Young.
Well,
He's ugly.
he's ugly. Fuck yeah, you got that right. Today we have a special guest. I've known this guy for a very long time. His name is Tony G.
Hey,
Welcome,
everybody. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, man. So
It's a long time.
yeah, right on. So how you been?
I've been good.
Like you've had quite a journey, eh? Like in terms of
A roller coaster.
yeah, right? Yeah. So where did you grow up?
So I was born in northern Italy in a little town called Susa, and I stayed there till I was 14 years old, and then I came to Canada. I went to school.
Where did you go to high school?
I went away. It's funny. The funny one is junior high. So I went to junior high at Queensboro Junior High. So I arrived September 6, 1970. I took 1 year of English school in Italy, but never picked up a thing. And I arrived here, and September 6th was, I guess, the last weekend of the of the exhibition. So I'm coming from a small place, so long hair, people with the jeans ripped, walking barefoot. It was quite a shock, and also the cars, the streets. Anyway, but 2 days later, Monday, I went to school without speaking English. So that was quite a thing. And they put me 2 years behind, even though I finished grade 8 in Italy, which is probably comparable to grade 10 here. They put me in grade 7. And to make a long story short, by the time I was in grade 9, I was driving to school because I was 16 years old. I was driving to school
In grade 9.
and creating a disaster. And then from then I went to Boylan, which was just around the corner where I lived. And then from Boylan, I didn't like it. It was too close to home. So I decided to go to C.W. Jeffries because all the chicks were there, right? It was an art school. So we used to drive to Jeffries. And at the same time, I started working with my dad. He was in the construction business, doing overhead doors and cranes and monorails.
So you're like pretty legendary in the clothing industry, because I think, Rob, you bought some clothes back in the 70s, right? In St. Clair area?
Yeah, Tony, welcome first to the show. Yeah, Tony's the number one guy there. The store was called the Forum.
The Forum.
Is
The
that
Forum.
your first
That was
job?
my first job. It's funny how I got the job because I used to shop there. And, I used to work and part-time and shop there. And the manager, his name is Tom Jones, says to me, do you want to work part-time?
What do you mean? It's not unbelievable. What, that Tom Jones, the singer?
No, they call him Tom Jones.
What was his real name?
His name is Dominic Marzario, but he still goes by the name of Tom today. It's just a name that they gave him. I didn't know I didn't have nothing to do with
I heard
that.
that it was because when girls used to walk by the Forum on Dufferin at St. Clair, they used to throw the mutans at them.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, these
The guys, not the girls.
Oh, yeah, the guys.
They used to throw the mutans at
Especially
them.
the Tom Jones with one girl, her name was Delilah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she threw mutans, eh?
Anyway,
Some
so-
of them had the street on them, too. Yeah, those are the good ones.
Lose control.
Anyway, sorry.
He said, do you want to work part-time? And I said, because I used to love clothes. I used to shop. He said, I said, how much discount do I get on my clothes? So he says 50%. So I said, here I am. That's how I started, and I don't think I saw a paycheck for the first 4 months because every money came, I bought clothes.
What would you say the average width of a bell bottom was back then?
So there was a pant called a palazzo pant.
Yeah.
But you had to wear wedgies, right? No wedgies, no palazzo pants.
People don't know what a wedgie is.
So wedgies are like a moccasin, and then it's got a heel, a whole platform going across about 5 inches, right? And the pants were high-waisted, no pockets, wide, and it covered the whole shoe.
Yeah.
And there was a famous guy called Master John on Young Street.
I remember. Yeah, right near the House of Lords there. The gas works.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the width of the pants in those days, right?
So they did that because my theory, the wedgie was created because Italians' average height was like 4'9" to like 5'3".
Yeah.
And so they could put the wedgies and hide the pants with the wedgies that made them look taller, 5 inches taller. And people, you know what I mean? So it didn't. That's why I think the wedgie was created.
I think you're right. Part time. I think there's another situation. I gotta talk about the shoe, the wedgie shoe. Remember the famous group Kiss?
Yeah.
They had a bigger wedgie. The bass player, he was a 6'1".
Yeah.
Because
But they showed the wedgie.
Yeah,
The
they-
Italians, they were hidden by the pants.
Listen, but you understand something about the wedgie. The only reason why they make this kind of shoe is because it lifts you up. In the summertime, it's hot. It's more like air condition when you go higher.
No, it's the heat goes up. What do you mean?
Oh, the heat go up.
Cool air is lower. That's why they went barefoot in the summer.
Yeah.
Because then they dropped 4, 5, 6, 8 inches lower.
Yeah.
So the air was a lot cooler, you know?
I didn't know that.
So it was interesting fashion because,
I don't think there was any fashions back then.
No.
Nah, it
So
was just
you
it
got
was.
hired part-time and
then I ended
how
up.
did you get full-time?
Oh, I, got thrown out of school and ended up working full time.
That was it?
That was
And
it.
so any characters you used to know from that area? They used to
No
shop there
No, we didn't at that time. No characters. Lots of different people, but no, we didn't have any let's say movie stars or anything
No, I
like
mean
this.
like I don't. I mean.
Oh no, there was.
Guys
They
in
were
the
all
community.
characters.
That's what I mean.
They're all
Like,
characters.
Any stories you got from
Yeah,
the store?
so I came up with this idea. We used to have a lot of people of color. They used to live in the area and come in and want a game. We used to do a lot of made to measure, right? So they used to come in and they were from a Jamaican origin, and they would say, "Can you build me a suit? Can you build me a suit?" Right? So one night, it was Thursday night, it was quiet. The gentleman comes in, and I was the one looking after him. He said, "Can you build me a suit?" I said, "No problem." So I took a sheet of brown rolling paper that we used to wrap. I put it on the floor, and I made him lie down. And I took a marker, and I went around him. And meanwhile, Tom Jones and Strats were in the back room pissing their pants, right? And then I said, "Am I done?" No. I said, "Turn over." So he turned face down. And I took a marker. Because the guy says, "Build me a suit," right? Not make me.
You were just joking around with this guy.
Yeah, I was building a suit.
You were building
I was
a
going to
suit.
cut the paper.
I see. Cut the paper. Good day. What was his name? Do you remember his name?
I don't remember his
Leroy?
name. No, but he didn't find it too funny afterwards.
No, wow. So that was one character. So any other like neighborhood guys in the
I'll
neighborhood?
remind you a couple of characters. One guy used to come over there. His name was Alabek. Alabek, Italian guy. I think he's from near you.
Oh.
Yeah, he used to shop at the farm. I said, Alabek, you're looking good. I went to the farm yesterday. That's why I'm looking good.
Yeah, so stories like that.
Sean Gay, the other guy from Oakwood, Cleveland.
Sean Gay.
We used to call him Sean Gay because he used to wear the French hat. He thought he was a painter, but he was an idiot.
he was an idiot. Wow. So how long did you last at the farm?
They fired me actually. So it's my first.
Why did they fire you?
Because I was young. I was going out, and at that time there was 3 of us: me, Tom Jones, Danny Brunswick, and on Tom Jones' day off, I had to open the store. So I used to live in Malton at that time, and I drove a Corvette. And other times I didn't go home. I had my blow dryer, my shoes, my change for the next day. I used to go out, and I always showed up late. So the owner of the store said, "Tony, you show up late, we're going to deduct $10 every hour."
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, so I used to wake up. It was 9 o'clock. I was supposed to be at the store. I used to say, "Fuck it, $10. I sleep another 3 hours, right?" So slowly, even though I was a very good salesperson, I pushed it to the point where one morning, I think the tailor was supposed to show up, Tom was off, and I showed up at 12 o'clock to open the store. And they fired me. But that's the best thing they ever done.
Why?
Because I went to Bloor Street.
So right? That was, how many years did you last over there then?
2.5 years.
Because Bloor Street, What year did you get the Bloor Street?
I got to Bloor Street 1980.
And who did you work for there?
There's a Lebanese guy from Montreal called Mr. Jalal, opened up this 30,000 square feet store on the north side of Bay and Bloor, where the gym is now, on 2 floors. And he was a discounter, so you would go to Italy and buy all with the cash, buy cheap deals, bring them out. And I started working for him. That was another funny story, because when he hired me, I asked him for, I think I was asking for $600 a week. And he says, no, it's way too much money. I'll give you 10% of what you sell. After a month, he called me back. He says, look, you're selling $15,000 a week. I want to take that deal back. Yeah. So, a lot of Italian guys were there. Then, from there, because they didn't last long, I went to work.
So why was it a failure?
It was a failure because I think in the neighborhood, he was destroying everybody. So somehow, somewhere, they called a loan on him. He probably had $2 million worth of furs only in the fur department. So the bank called a loan out of the blue. So we were hurting Creeds. All the big stores around us, we were hurting them. So somehow, the loan got called, and and he had to liquidate. So he closed and went back to Montreal.
Sure, something happened there for sure.
Yeah.
We let the people know in Calabria first.
Yes,
of all.
for sure.
They're talking about the Bay and Bloor Street in Toronto, a big city in Canada. For all the people live in Australia, the people in Calabria, the people in England, they listen to the show, right? So Toronto's a nice big city. They have a lot of action here, They got a lot of stupid people too, but they got a lot of action.
Yeah, Toronto's great. And then I went to Marc Laurent, a store called Marc Laurent, 110 Bloor.
And who ran that store? Who started?
I was part-time there. There was a guy named Harry Bendayen, which owned the store. And there was another gentleman, I forgot his name now. He was the manager, but I was part-time. And at that time, I was going out with a very pretty girl. Her name was Haley Mordison. She won the best face of 1980 in the whole world. And
which face? Quella faccia? La
faccia buona.
La faccia buona.
And anyway, so she ended up getting a job in Tokyo, in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up going for 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another experience. Yeah.
Japanese.
So what happened there? What was that
Well,
about?
there's great. I mean,
You
there was
felt
no.
tall there, eh?
Yeah, I was tall. Yeah. model, yes, model. So models didn't pay for anything. So I ended up being a model too. Only 5'9", but.
No, 5'9" is good.
And great time. Spent most of my time with the manager of the agencies, looking at pictures of girls all over the world that wanted to come to Tokyo to get paid and do their job. Then we on our way back, I remember they paid us in cash.
What kind of cash money?
It was a yen. Yeah, and I had 2 suitcases, 2 briefcases full of cash.
Yeah.
And we stopped in Maui at the Royal Lahaina. And we spent 2 weeks there. Then I came back, and the funny story is, I gotta tell you, because I went back to work, and Harry fired me. He says, no, we're no good.
Why?
Because I went 2 months away, right? And I said to him, Harry, you want to check? I'm only here part-time, but check the sales of the manager, and then check the sales that I made, right? I'll come back in 3-4 hours. So I went back, and he says, you're right. Oh, David was the guy's name. He says, you're right. You sold way more than David. You're only here 3 days a week. Call David. I'm going to fire him. You're the manager.
And so you became the manager. Wow.
But I think for me, the real break was when I went to work for Alan Cherry.
Oh, he's famous, eh?
Alan Cherry was a beautiful.
Is that related to Don Cherry, the hockey guy?
Yeah, his cousin. No, just joking. No.
No?
Mr. Ciliegia.
Ciliegia. What was his real name? Alan Ciliegia.
Yeah.
It's the best.
So because I got a break to go buy, so I became a buyer. And that meant going to Italy 4 times a year, going to France 4 times a year. So it was tough to do. Tough.
Yeah, 4 times a year, go to Italy.
4 times.
Con le ciliegie.
Con le ciliegie.
But okay, so that's fine. But so you become a buyer for this George Cherry, Alan Cherry. Didn't his wife open something too?
I think no, his wife was with him. His sister at a store called Joy Cherry.
That's the one. Joy
on
Cherry.
on
That's
Avenue
the
Road, just north
Yes.
of Lawrence.
I
North of
remember
Lawrence.
that store.
Yeah. But he was famous. He had a beautiful building down on Young and Bloor.
Yeah.
So you worked there as a buyer.
2 years. So a manager, buyer.
But what did you buy?
I bought brands. So I bought what I liked. Actually, that's what I used
Where
to
did
do.
you buy? From Italy? Like what brands did you bring in?
I
back
brought
then?
Montana. This is all brands. I bought Brioni in those days. I brought Hugo Boss. Well, she's at the beginning. Yeah.
So what's the buying? How does the buying process work when you?
Well, the buying. So I don't
you're a
know. For
buyer.
me, there's a million collections out there, right? You need to buy what you think you're going to sell, right? Everybody, right?
Yeah.
That's logical, yeah.
But a lot of people don't. So buyers that are not salesmen
Yeah.
are not usually good buyers.
Good, yeah.
Well, not usually. I'm not going to say no, but for me, my theory is if you don't know what the customer wants, it's very difficult for you to end up buying things just because you say, oh, we must have these black pants because everybody else has black pants, right? But if you're a salesman or a manager and you're in sales, and if you're not, you gather information from your staff, ask them what their customer wants, and then you buy. So, but yeah, so you go, you make appointments, you go to Italy. There's a show in Italy called Pitti Uomo. It happens twice a year. It's where all the small manufacturers now today also big, but originally it was only small manufacturers that make for big brands. Have the chance to show their product. It's usually in June and January, and you go there 6 days. You visit the suppliers, you make orders, write down where you're from. Where
So
you're not
is
from.
there a lot of politics in that? Like, is there a lot of?
Well, it's more the politics come in with the big brands, right?
Yeah.
The big brands. First, in those days, they thought Canada, Toronto was just like I don't know,
Nothing.
the white north, up there with the Inuits, right?
That's it. Ski-Doo.
That's
No
it,
man,
right? So
yeah.
everybody wanted to sell to Toronto.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, yeah.
And then once they figured out that people were buying lots and selling,
Yeah.
so that's what happened. So for example, I brought Dolce & Gabbana in 1986, and you suffer with a collection like this because it's difficult at the beginning. Yeah. Then you start making some money, and then the whole turn gets a store. So here's a small independent, doing all the
hard
legwork,
work. Yeah.
and then once you start to make some money, those are the politics. And then there was politics within small stores because once upon a time Toronto was full of small boutiques. There was Marco Ron, Classica Uomo, Giorgio, Genesis, the Forum.
Yeah.
La Scala,
yeah.
right? So everybody used to fight for collections,
Yeah.
right? And I want to have a cruiser because at the moment you don't have a cruiser, then the price war becomes, right?
It's funny, in the bakeries they used to blow each other up, right? The camisos used to blow up, but there was never a clothing store blow up between Genesis and.
No clothing store.
They blow up the clothing store. No.
I think there's more money in the bread.
Yeah, I think so.
Upane.
I think there's more money in bread.
Yeah,
the bread delivery. Routes
the
and
route, la rota,
Yeah.
the
I
route.
remember in 1969 or 70 where they blew up the fucking Nino de Versa Toro Road there.
Yeah, a little later, but yeah.
Anyway.
But it's the route. Mio, remember Mio?
The Gazzola.
We used to drink Sia, not Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
In
from
a
further
casa
north.
mia bevamo Sia.
He was further north. That's downtown
was the
College
north
Street.
was Sia, yeah.
was Chinotto, Mia.
A lot of people, this is making me laugh sometimes, a lot of people thought that the Brio was a drink from Italy.
Yeah.
No, Brio was a Chinotto, but it was a Canadian drink. Because when we used to go for, sandwich at those places, San Francesco.
Yeah, those down the street.
Hold on a sec. You saying Brio was not a town?
No,
How come it says made in
everybody-
Italy in
No,
there?
I know. They conceptualize in Italy. They have Chinotto in Italy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
San Pellegrino is a Chinotto famous. I know in Calabria, when I'm training the big fighters, Michael Tyson, Larry Holmes, they come to Calabria and train with me. I always give them Chinotto. Or, for training in the morning, we drink Orzata.
Yeah,
And
even
sometimes
better.
Latte di Mandorle, milk from the almonds, give it the power.
Yeah.
And the speed.
But that stuff, when they first tried that stuff, there used to be like 8 bottles of Gazzosa,
Yeah,
2 bottles of ginger ale,
yeah.
one bottle of Coke and one bottle of Quinoto.
That's
And then
it.
when they poured the Quinoto, what the fuck is this shit? Tasted like crap. You know what I mean?
There's a Canadian thing like Quinoto. It's called
Yeah, it's called shit.
shit. Canadian shit.
Which one?
It's like I heard a great joke, but you didn't laugh at it. I said a friend of mine came to Toronto from New York, and he said, "Yeah, I visited one of your I was in Brampton, and I visited one of your Indian restaurants."
Yeah.
And he said he ordered a double in a French cruller from one Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, I had some friends of mine that came to watch from Italy, came to watch a baseball game, right?
Oh, yeah. First
Never,
time.
yeah. So they're sitting down, and and behind them, hot dogs, mustard, ketchup, and they're spilling on the guys, right? And one guy says, "Antonio, you speak a little bit of English. Tell these guys, please." So Antonio gets up, starts talking to the guys, and then he says, "What did they say?" They said, "Hanno detto che non lo fuck you."
Okay.
Sure, fuck you. Oh, and then he got all nervoso, eh? He got all cafe nervoso from Yorkville.
Your language, you understand right away.
Ah.
Oh, fuck you means somebody's going to get a couple of shots.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so then you went from Don Cherry's. You went.
I went to Giorgio.
Giorgio. That's where I
That's where
think
I
I
went.
met you the first
I went
time.
to Giorgio in 1986,
Yeah.
153 Cumberland.
Yeah. That's
We
where I think
opened up our first store, Giorgio store.
Yeah.
George Elion had another store in Montreal on Sherbrooke Street. We opened up Giorgio in Toronto. It was good.
Yeah, that guy's still kicking, eh? That guy.
Yeah, he's still
was a
kick-
nice.
yeah.
He's a nice man. I like George.
He's still kick.
Hey.
No,
Famous George.
No, he's not. He's famous in his own mind.
yes.
You know what I mean? When I used to go to Florida a lot. I used to always see him in the airport with a different broad every. I don't know. I probably should be saying this, but hey, George. Hey,
How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Every week I see you with a different broad over there. What the fuck is going on? I used to, yeah.
It's training.
And
Everybody's
he
training.
wasn't the handsomest guy you ever seen,
Doesn't matter.
but he was
if
well
you're-
dressed.
Doesn't matter if you're handsome.
He had the most expensive
He
shoes
looked
I ever
good.
seen.
He looked
He
good.
looked good.
How much a scratch you got?
Yeah, that's right.
Cash money.
Like Shakespeare said, when money goes out the window, can love be far behind? It goes right behind. The love goes right behind the cash.
Billy, eh?
Bloop. But Billy. So you worked at Giorgio, but then, so, like, I like stories. You like, weren't there any kind of stories that happened at these clothing stores?
Stories. There's a funny story about. We used to have
Not
a
even
guy.
a funny story. They're just like, you ever got robbed? Ever got held up? Everybody came in and did a smash and grab? People want to
No,
know.
there was a lot of people that used to try to smash and grab, and thank God,
What?
But I tell you one time it happened when. So because a lot of people used to come in and steal, they used to come in groups and steal. So every time they came in, I told my staff, keep your eyes open, right? And one time, one guy came in. I said, keep your eyes open. The guy heard me. So he came up to me. He's 6'4", nose to nose, and he confronted me, right?
Oh.
And obviously I couldn't do anything. But I went in the back room. I took a baseball bat, and I came out and I told him, "I'll get the fuck out of the store."
Oh, yeah. It's not fast.
Yeah, he took off fast.
Change, eh?
But there's a funny story. I used to have a guy that used to work for us. His name is Joe Fuoco. And he looked exactly like, what's that British singer with the beard? George Michaels. So he looked exactly like George Michaels. I'm telling you exactly.
Right?
So one day, George Michaels walks in the store.
The real one.
The real one. And Joe says, he's like this. And George Michael looked, he turned around and he ran. He was like, he couldn't believe it. And this boy, Joe, started chasing him down Yorkville Avenue. It was so funny.
Wow. Yeah, okay. So I guess the clothing industry isn't too exciting.
No, the clothing is exciting.
Well, I got another story. So we opened up Giorgio Couture on Bloor Street,
That's where I met you, on the Bloor Street
right?
store.
Beautiful store, two
Yeah.
floors.
That's the where. Yeah.
And one morning, I go to open the store, 2 floors, full of inventory, ladies, man. The store is completely empty.
What do you mean?
Both floors,
Everything?
both floors,
Wow.
completely empty.
No clothes, nothing.
No clothes, no broken windows,
Nothing.
no.
Nobody's
A
alive.
little bit of insurance job there, maybe. Eh?
So,
Eh?
so
How come
in those days, the alarm systems were funny. There was a 2-tier alarm system and 3-tier alarm system.
What's the difference?
One had motion detection inside. So if the alarm went off and then you had motion, then you knew somebody was in the store and you could dispatch.
Right.
The other ones, no motion detector, just glass break and things like this.
Right.
So what had happened, the guy who owned the store, we just talked about before, ended up going with the number 2. So what happened is we found out that they came, they smashed they triggered the alarm.
Oh, smart.
The police came,
Oh, yeah.
they checked everywhere,
Yeah.
nothing. They left.
It took off.
Once they left, they cut the telephone lines, they went in, and they cleaned out. They had a party downstairs, they drank champagne, they even took a shit everywhere. They stayed the whole night. When I went to open the store
Nice.
at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I opened, and I'm like I couldn't believe my eyes, right?
Wow.
So what happened? Like what
What
happened?
happened? Nothing. There was an insurance claim.
Like that?
No, but
How much
never.
was the claim for that?
I don't remember. It was millions, but
Really?
it was impossible because the problem is, we are seasonal. Seasonal goods are seasonal. This happened in the summertime, so in order to buy new goods,
Yeah.
we had ladies and men's, right?
Yeah.
2 floors. I would say 6,000 square feet, 3,000 on each floor, right? Yeah. And it was impossible. So the company took a big licking.
Yeah.
I think it got paid at the end, but because of that alarm situation, it was a little bit of a problem. So it took a while to get paid.
In Calabria, we had my cousin had a 2-tier alarm system too. The 2-tier and the 3-tier. We had 2 different systems.
Here it
The
comes.
2, we have 2 guys with a 9mm.
Yeah.
So when you steal, they shoot you in the legs. The 3-tier is the 3 guys with a 9mm. They shoot you in the kneecap and one guy shoots you in the head. And you don't have to worry about nothing because when they lay you down in the coffin, you're gonna have a brand new suit.
Yeah, perfect.
Right?
Yeah. That's it. That's a 3-tier.
That's a good.
I like that.
Special Calabria.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 We're around there. Different.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, more than stories. The actors part was kind of nice when we opened up the Versace boutique.
Okay, so let's talk about
Back
that.
up, back
Let's-
up.
So
back up. I
that-
missed a
'cause
few
the
years.
The Giorgio Couture shop is like where Versace ended up.
No, Giorgio Couture shop is one block down.
Okay, so how did the Versace because
So George's brother, his name is Tony Alien, had the Versace clothing in Montreal. And he was a big buyer. He was making a killing, selling everything. Cosimo Racco from La Scala
Yeah, I know.
had
That's
the,
my friend, yeah.
had the Versace boutique on Hazelton Avenue.
right?
Oh, that's famous. Eh?
Right? So he was the first guy to have it. He was doing very well.
So he had the license for
Yeah, the rights, yeah.
Yeah.
Versace wanted to make a change and get so the boutique on Hazelton Avenue was all steel. That's what Versace's look was when it came out. And now in the year, in the early 2000s, late 1990s, they wanted to change, more elegant wood, marble, and they wanted a new store. And
So
Cosimo
was
Racco
Versace
did not
himself
want.
involved?
Yes.
Yeah, he
yes,
was
yes.
he was involved in
Yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah.
His brother more, but so I guess this is the story I hear that Cosimo didn't want to open a new store, and the guy from Montreal said, "Look, they opened up a store in Via Monte Napoleone in Milan. They made it look like they made it look. It was an antique home with beautiful stuff." We took a building. He took a building in Toronto where Bellman's used to be.
I know that place. You're famous.
Yeah. I got the door handles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I took the door handles off when we demolished it. Yeah. And opened up a store exactly the same as the one in Via Monte Napoleone.
How much was the build out back then for that store?
Well, so the front, what we did was, we couldn't because we don't have stone. It was all...
Precast.
Yeah, it was all precast molding, right? It made it look
Yeah.
really well. But the floors were unbelievable. I think Seat, a marble company from Toronto, and J.M. Campbell. I think the floor were 4,000 square feet each floor, 2 floors. And I think the marble at that time was 200,000 per floor.
Yeah, no, the work was incredible.
Yeah? And then all the furniture was all detailed with Versace, with the Medusas everywhere. It was good. there I met Elton John. I met.
Did you meet him? Like, we had a friend that was on the podcast last week. He said, I met the Rolling Stones. You know, he was talking about how he met the Rolling Stones. I go, wow. And I'm thinking he met him, you know, in backstage or, you know, met him. He goes, no, I was walking in the hotel and he walked past me.
Yeah, no, I met
So you
Elton
met him
John.
for real?
I sold him. I met Prince. I sold him. I met Rod Stewart, and I sold him. I met.
So any stories with these guys like Elton John? Prince,
No, Elton John was very private, and he would come in, and his now husband would come in afterwards to pick up the stuff. Prince.
But would he come by himself to shop, or do you have to shut the store?
No, I would not. He just come by.
He just come
Yeah,
by.
he just come by. I used to shop a lot in Milan, right? He was a very good friend of Gianni Versace.
Yeah, for sure. He probably did something.
He's an origin. Elton John is actually he's half Italian.
Yes, Eltone,
No,
Alto Giovanni.
Alto Giovanni. Do you think they did a little pumpation, those two?
Yeah, I know.
I think they did some pumpation for sure. Eh? For the nation. They did it for England and Italy.
Yes.
They did pumpation for the nation, for
What are you
sure.
gonna do? Some people-
I don't know. I think for sure Elton John and Gianni Versace.
Yes, yeah.
Come si chiama? Eltone
Giovanni.
Versace.
E Alto non è però.
It flows. Who do you think was the receiver?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody was good.
I think
The
Versace.
catcher.
I think Versace was.
Somebody with the pitcher.
I think he was definitely a catcher. I think Elton did. Okay, I'm gonna go down the yellow brick road with you. Bend over.
No, I can't. Those little people, the yellow brick road.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so
They're gonna see this is your song for real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
Hey, Tony, let me ask you a question.
shoot.
We're talking about the clothing, all those kind of things. You know, I'm a boxer. You know, I don't worry about the clothing. My wife will buy my clothes, special clothes. But if I want to know something, who do you get these jeans? There are one famous jeans a long time ago in the '70s. They're called the Jordache.
oh yeah.
Who
Jordache.
was the Jordache jeans?
But okay.
Brooke Shields.
Brooke and Shield. Hold on a sec. We have to finish talking about before we talk. I want
Jordache.
to talk about Jordan.
What about C-17?
And you know.
C-17.
Yeah.
C-17.
So okay. So Elton John. So he was. What about Prince?
Well, Prince was very quick. You come in.
Now, how would
Look-
they shop? Would they say?
No, Prince would come in like first thing in the morning because you know they're smart, so they know people are around. He came in. I had a display case of glasses, sunglasses. There must have been 20 sunglasses. I said hi. You know, obviously.
Did he have bodyguards and shit around?
No,
him?
he came by himself.
By himself. Wow.
Opened the thing up. I showed him the glasses. He said, "I'll take them all." Went out. Somebody else came in to pay.
Oh yeah. Somebody else came.
And the Prince was only one time like that.
And how about
What's his
Rod
name?
Stewart? Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart all the time. Rod Stewart more at Giorgio. Rod Stewart used to come in, and this is a funny story. So he comes in, he's on a Friday. Comes in on a Friday, buys clothes, signs autographs, right? Then he performs Friday night, and the reviews come out not so good. Right? Comes Saturday to pick up the goods. He's not in a good mood like this. Somebody says, "Hey, Mr. Stewart, can I have an autograph?" Fuck off.
No way.
It was a
So
like this and like this.
yeah, wow. And so who else?
schizophrenic.
Tina Turner,
What about her?
she was very cool. She used to deal with the ladies.
Yeah.
I used to deal with the bass player with the long gray hair, blonde guy, very tall. So I used to sell him clothes. Yeah, they were all very nice.
But when they shop, so they just come in and they point or they try stuff.
No, we
on, or-
sell them, right? We have to show them. So
what do you do,
normally they sometimes because they're artists, so you always we used to have some pretty funky things. So they were looking always for glitz and glamour, right?
Right.
Robin Williams used to come in. He came to the store, I think, for 2 weeks every day. Never bought a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
We just show up and
And he would have a coffee, and he used to tell me, "I make you an offer you can refuse." So Robin Williams was never for me. I saw him 14 times. He was never Robin Williams himself. He was always putting up a joke, giving me a line, right?
yeah, that guy there. I don't know. He had some demons for sure.
Yeah, 100%, 100%,
Did you say?
100%.
He give you a line? He give you a funny line.
yeah, always
Sometimes he
because
give
he-
you the other line, too, the street.
Did he do street too? There?
Three shillings.
Oh, yeah.
In those
wow.
days, I think everybody did three shillings.
Yeah. So Robin Williams. Who else?
Um,
Because I mean, Versace.
so I met. I'm trying to think his name. It's
So
escaping
hold on.
me.
What year is this again?
Versace is 96, 97.
So 96. So most of these artists you're talking about were at their peak.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
came
for
in.
sure.
These guys were.
I mean,
like,
there used to
serious.
be what was that club on Yorkville? Oh, no, behind Yorkville, big club. The bands used to play. No,
The Copa.
the Copa. So
Yeah. We played there. Remember?
Tina
In
Turner,
1985, you and I played
Tina
there.
Turner used to play there.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We played there.
Yeah, yeah.
Vito and I played there. one year.
Chase had
Simon
band.
Chase. Yeah.
I remember
we
Simon
played,
Chase.
Yeah, we played there 1985 or 84. We played there. The Q107 homegrown contest.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
There's
so-
one guy I'm trying to remember, Michael Jackson dancer
Michael
lookalike.
Giacatone. Yeah.
Give me his name.
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
Who dances like Michael Jackson?
Everybody on the planet.
So, I'm in Paris. I'm in Paris at a restaurant called L'Avenue on Rue de la Montagne. It was a very famous place.
Oh, Mountain Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Montagne. And
Right.
there's a bunch of black guys in the corner. So I go and talk to them because, they must be American. They invite me, we talk, we joke. Anyway, so we exchanged just names. And then one of these guys' name was Usher. But Usher was nobody at that time. So I'm a big soul fan. 6 months later, there's a tribute with Michael Jackson in front, I think, the president at that time. And I'm looking at this guy, and it's the guy that I just met. Anyway, to make a long story short, he came to the store many times, and we became friends and went to see him in concert. And it's like Michele Jackson.
Michele Giacatone.
I saw him in Milan too. Again, another. I never met him, but
His last name is
Sid-
Giacatone.
yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. So you had quite because Versace was probably a very big name, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
attracted a lot of sports
Also
guys too. How about
sports
sports guys?
sports
Yeah.
guys.
Especially the Russians, no?
Well, Russians hockey players.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russians hockey player. I had baseball players, but lots of hockey players. Yeah.
And did they ever invite you to shows or stuff like that, or was it always just strictly business? Like come in
No,
here.
I got close to the Russian hockey players. Actually, they came to my house. I went to their house.
Nice guys.
Yeah, they're very nice.
They all train in Calabria.
They all say lasciatemi cantare, lasciatemi cantare.
Oh, yeah.
They like Toto Cotugno.
yeah. Tutto,
Yeah,
tutto
good.
good. So then Versace got killed, and then everything went to shit.
Yeah,
Right?
and then a friend of mine asked me to come and do something in the .com business.
No, hold on. Let's talk about Versace. We'll get to .com.
It's up to
So
Versace
so-
dies.
And then what happens to the store?
The store is still there, but
No, what happened to Versace, the store? Because they closed, didn't they?
they closed because all of a sudden the guy, he died and the collection just went to shits. And
What do you think it would have been if he didn't die?
I think he was the greatest designer ever.
Well, what made him special? What was his...
Well, so just think about it, right? Would you ever wear a red jacket? Or would you ever wear a Barack, a gold printed shirt for $5,000? Everybody wanted Versace.
Yeah.
18-year-old boys and 90-year-old men, they all wanted the Medusa. I did a guy, used to have a house at the National. He came, he spent $450,000 with me, did not buy one stitch of clothing.
What did he buy?
He
Shoes?
bought carpets,
Oh,
plates.
furniture. Wow.
blankets, bed. I became an architect and I never knew what the fuck I was doing in that world. But, I said, one room, let's do this color. One, the other room, this color. Right? And he wrote me a check for the whole amount. I said, thank you very much, Italian guy.
You guys are talking about this store, that store, Versace, this, and whatever. Let me ask you truthfully for the poor people out there.
Yeah.
Well, who does the best quality when they make a piece of clothing? That's what
For the poor people,
Who stitched the best over there?
the Italians.
So
Of course,
Versace, when he make his clothes, who make his clothes?
Well, he used a bunch of companies to make us clothes. He didn't use
They
it.
do nice job. Nice
Yeah, the quality was good.
Okay.
But he was innovative. He taught people, he taught the world to wear color. Everybody was very sedated. He wore pink, red, purple.
But, I bought a few Versace shirts from that store and some suits, and everybody would when I would wear them. They go, "Oh, you're wearing your pajamas today, your pajama top."
But that's in Canada, they tell you that.
Yeah,
In Europe, they
but
know
their
better.
suits were like the suits. I love the linings in them, and I bought half a dozen suits. I couldn't have, Anyway,
He was the best.
and then you went to when was For the Road? What happened there?
For the Road was before.
It was before Versace.
Yeah, For the Road was 94.
And how did that guy there was a character, eh? The owner? Well, do you remember his name, Joey or
No,
John?
he wasn't the owner. He was a part owner. Yeah, Joe Natale.
Joe Natale, yeah. Do you know
The
Joe
owner
Natale?
was Mel Pearl.
Mel Pearl.
Yeah.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Do you know Joe Natale?
Yeah, Joe Christmas.
Hey, Tony,
Yeah.
what's going on?
And and yeah, so we went to. They asked me to help run a jean business.
Who asked you that?
Joe Natale, which was a school friend of mine.
What jean business? What was your jeans?
Like
Yeah, well, those days they
jeans.
were selling Levi's and
Wrangler?
Wrangler,
Lee's.
all this stuff.
Oh yeah, they sold Sergio Valenti,
And then when I went there,
Jordan.
when I went there,
Fiorucci.
I brought in Fiorucci. No, I wish
famous, eh?
Fiorucci is famous. There was a store
I know.
on Bel Air. I just spoke to the owner yesterday. Mario Boccia is his name, and he was selling Fiorucci jeans. Fiorucci
Yeah.
was the best.
I had only one pair with the see-through back pockets.
Yeah.
And I had a $10 bill in there, and I went to a pool party. The guy says, "Hey, we need to buy some beer. Can we take your $10?" Because they could see it in my fucking back pocket.
Yeah, it's-
I said, "I gotta take these pants and never wear them." They were white Fiorucci with the see-through back pockets, and I put my $10 bill in there.
yeah. So I went to the jean business. I left the high-end retail and I went to the low-end jean business, but I turned it around because I went there and I did the Versace jeans, Ferrari jeans, Dolce Gabbana jeans, and all of a sudden the ticket it used to be $200 a big sale, and all of a sudden $2,000. So it was good. It was good. And then we closed that, and I opened my own clothing store called Barazzo right across from Centro.
Was that before your .com or after the .com?
Before.
Centro, that's a young street where the
Yeah,
restaurant
yeah.
was.
Barazzo, yeah, I remember Barazzo.
Right across from Centro. It was called Patrizio before.
You're the only guy I know, Tony.
Tony G.
Tony G. And you spell your name Tony. It's not short for Tony.
Bravo.
What is it? It's your name.
It's my name. The only one.
Only one
in the
baptismal
world.
name. Your father gave you that name. Yeah.
Yeah, my father,
come here.
Brigadier Giallonardo.
Oh, Giallonardo, baby's father was a top shelf guy too.
He was.
Good guy.
Yeah, so we opened up the store, and then that's when I went to Versace. After Barazzo, I went to Versace, and then from Versace, I went to .com.
Yeah, so
That's a great story. So
yeah,
that probably
let's hear that story
So-
because I heard it was a
yeah,
genius work.
a friend of
It was
mine
so far ahead
and
of its
.com.
time.
You know, I'm at that time. Let me see, 98. I was 36. 36? No, 30, 56, 98, 33.
You were 33? How old the fuck was I then?
Well, you're younger than me.
Yeah, by far. 6 years. So I
So-
was late 20s.
Yeah, so,
Oh.
you know, know nothing about computers, zero. I mean, I know how to sell. I know how to punch in a cash register, but not computers. This friend of mine, Tony Camporelli, says to me, come. And I say, I don't know nothing. He says, don't worry. I'll teach you. You'll know everything in 2 minutes. And I need your sales skills. I don't care about anything else. So, you know, working retail 6 days a week, 5 holidays a year, Christmas, and then going into the .com business with Mr. Camporelli in a beautiful office, and, you know, stopping work at December 10th or 15th and having the whole Christmas with your family, working 5 days a week. It was, for me, it was the greatest experience, going around the world, Chicago, Las Vegas, everywhere, New York, promoting this thing. And now, listen, I think it was the greatest thing I've ever seen, because I understood retail, and I understood the fact that the biggest problem in retail was overstock of inventory.
Oh, that's a problem, man.
Yeah, because people buy, and by the time other people talk to people, it takes 30 to 60 days by the time they get the information. They say, hey, I want a white shirt. Okay, well, in 30, 60 days, by the time I order it, 6 months you get the white shirt. Where Mr. Camporelli came up with this live POS system that with no software, just everything was in the browser, and you could see if you had 10 stores, for example, you could see your sales on your phone of all the 10 stores. So, and besides that, we also invented hot flyers, which was before eBay. We have 5 GUIs. You can load up your merchandise,
Before
pictures,
Amazon even.
before anybody.
Anyway, we were so far ahead.
I
of
remember in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Sitting next booth was Microsoft, next to him. And I was showing the guy from Microsoft what I could do. His eyes came out of his head. He couldn't believe it. But we were 5 years too early.
Soon. We were like, and then we were Canadian. If we were in the U.S., like based in the U.S., we would have been.
But great. So I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. People, for a guy my age today, I can operate a computer, talk about stuff.
Las Vegas was like the Vegas shows were crazy. Like it was.
Remember we went to golf at Shadow Creek?
Yeah, that's with Shadow Creek. That was Steve Wins, the owner. Like, who got us there? Your buddy.
Yeah, Don Diamant got us there.
Yeah, he used to be on the Young and the Breastless.
Yes, and now he's in the bold and the ugly.
Yeah, the bold and the ugly.
The bold and the beautiful.
Yeah, so his friend used to be an actor in Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
And so we were in Vegas, and there was this very high exclusive. I remember going into the dressing room.
Exclusive. Don't you remember? We didn't have nothing. We didn't have no clothes.
Yeah.
We got there. We told them the sizes: shirts, top.
The best golf clubs. You could have shoes, everything. And then you go in the locker room, you see
Michael Jordan.
99. Locker 99. Wayne Gretzky.
Jordan was there. Dan
Michael
Marino.
Douglas, Clint Eastwood. All these famous people had lockers, and we were like. And then I remember there was. It was so hot, but I remember playing the last few holes. They were lit. I remember they were lit them because it was dark.
But you remember this is in the middle.
Running in pine
that's what I said.
trees.
This is in the middle of Las
in the middle
Vegas.
of the desert.
It felt like in North Carolina.
Yeah,
there was
it's
pheasants
crazy.
running, waterfalls,
pine
and the
trees.
cart, our cart. So normal golf cart has the seats and then your bags. Between the seats and the bags, there was a fridge. You can open up the fridge.
Full bar.
Full bar.
And then they had the guy, the caddy that would walk with you. They had misters to keep you cool. What an experience that was.
Yeah,
Shadow
best.
Creek.
Me too. And one time only, but best experience ever. But talking about Don Diamant, his name, that's a guy from Yorkville. Let's see, 70 will be. I was 40 years old. 56, 96. I taught this guy to play golf, Don Diamant. And now he's getting invited to these celebrity golf tournaments. And he doesn't know who to bring, +1. So I would get, a ticket to go to play Michael Jordan, an invitational in Raleigh, North Carolina, right? So free, paid, get there. Pat O'Brien is picking up his bags. He goes, "Hey, nice to see you, nice to see you." I mean, I don't know Pat O'Brien, but I guess. Anyway, that's a night. So we played with Michael Jordan, not with him, but in the group. And at nighttime, we went, when we were in the banquet, we go over there. And this guy, Don Diamant, how does he know everybody? So he's a soap opera artist.
He's an actor.
Why? Because all the sports people during the day, they got nothing to do. They watch. So we walked over to Michael Jordan's table, security, and Michael says, "No, it's Brad. That's his name
On the show.
on the show."
Yeah.
And I ended up getting, happy birthday, Tony G. But
Do they have soap operas in Italy? So
yes,
Sapone,
telenovela.
Sapone?
Soap.
All I know is
Telenovela.
all I remember in Italy is Colpo Grosso, the game show. Colpo Grosso. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Where they go. Anyway, that's cool.
Anyway,
I
so
got
the
that on,
mindthestore.com was probably one of my greatest experiences in life.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. It's too
I
bad
wish-
we were way
I
ahead of
wish-
our time.
I wish it would have worked, but
Yeah.
anyway,
So
back
then,
to-
what happened after the?
I went back.
You know, back to the clothing. So we gotta fast forward to how did you end up in England and how'd you get deported?
I got deported because I hanging around with the wrong people here in Toronto. RCMP came to get me.
No, I'm talking about in the UK. So how did you end up in England, for Christ's sake? That's a big jump to move everything,
So-
lock, stock, and barrel your kids.
So I
was
met this
fit.
guy as a customer. So being in retail, you end up meeting a whole bunch of people.
What year did you you went back in
2011, I left.
Okay, so
Right.
right.
So 2006, we opened up After all the stores, we opened up 5 Hazelton, which was where the old Versace store used to be.
Right, on the corner.
Right, and we carried all most expensive things anyway. So I was there. I have a client. I meet a client. He's Oriental, Kyrgyz, Mongol looking. Anyway, so he says, I want you to make a jacket for this guy. So I make a jacket for this guy. This guy is the son of a president of Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is one of the Stan countries in the east. Okay, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan. Anyway, I ended up going to Kyrgyzstan and making suits for the president, the Ministry of Transportation, the Minister of Defense, through this guy. As we were talking, he says, why don't we do something in Europe? He's asking me how I moved there. And I said, for sure, I want to open up 10 stores. He said, all right, how much is it going to take? I told him how much it's going to take. So one thing led to another, and in April 2011, I opened up a store in London, 4,000 square feet, behind closed doors, a gym, a spa.
What do you mean behind closed doors? What does that mean?
That means not storefront.
Oh, okay.
So it was you needed to go through an office. It was in an old building, 66 Grosvenor Street. You have to go into a building, and then there's a secretary for the whole building. It was by appointment only. You can't just walk in, right? 4,000 square feet.
Like Sergio Benetti here.
Yeah. Bar, spa, gym, garden on 3 floors.
Pizzeria.
Kitchen. It was beautiful. So that's how I ended up going there. And then things didn't really work, but it didn't work. Then I ended up doing myself, continuing with the brand myself. I opened up another store in a hotel. And I can tell you that London...
So let's talk about, so you're there, you spent, how much money did you spend there to open that place up?
So we spent £2 million.
Fuck, that's $500,000, that's $5 million. $4 million. So you spent $4 million. Did you ever make money there?
No.
And then you said, we're going to shut it down, and you opened...
No, he shut it down. The reason, there was many reasons if you want me to go into detail.
But any interesting people at that place?
What did I mean? I met
celebrities there.
No, some football players.
Like soccer players.
Yeah, sorry, soccer players. Yeah.
Yeah, because people here in North America, they don't understand.
But not anybody. A lot of customers from here came to visit me there.
Right.
But no, I didn't meet anybody. Well, actually, I did. So I did. Matt LeBlanc, which is Joy from Friends.
Yeah. He's dead now, isn't he?
No, he's not dead.
The other guy's
dead. So Matt LeBlanc, my trainer, because I had a gym in the store, my trainer, Lynn Hansen, very pretty girl, says, look, I invited her for dinner because I needed to take her for dinner to discuss business. She says, do you mind if I bring a client of mine? He's from America. He's an actor. I said, no, bring him, right? So anyway, we meet Matt. He's half Italian. He's from Boston. It's a lot of things in common, Boston Bruins, Toronto Maple Leafs, and we go to this place called the Arts Club, which is, I used to belong there. We leave, and then we come back, and they could recognize Matt. And we go, Matt. We go downstairs to a party, all dark. And Prince Harry comes and gives me a big hug. I said, I don't know you. I just got to London, right? So, and my buddy goes, that's Prince Harry. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, and Matt LeBlanc, I made him a tuxedo. He was voted for a series he was doing in London called Episodes. He needed a tuxedo for the Golden Globes. I made it for him in 2-3 weeks. I flew to Los Angeles to measure him because I said I would do it for him, and he said, I'll come in to measure him. I'm in LA, so I went to LA and measured him.
You built him a suit.
I made him a tuxedo.
Did you make him lie on the floor and do the magic?
No. But the funny thing is he wanted black, and I said, no black, I'm going to do navy blue. And I said, if I do navy blue for you as a joke, he said, you're going to win. And, he's been nominated, I think, 20 times with Friends. Anyway, I ended up winning the Golden Globe, and there's a nice clip, actually, that he said, who are you wearing tonight? Oh, I met this guy in London. His name is Tony G.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah. So did you get into a relationship there? What happened? What
now you're poking the bear, huh?
Yeah, well, people.
Listen. So I was married for 25 years,
Yeah.
and I left and moved to London.
Is that why you left?
No, I left because of job opportunity, and also because I left because we were going to break up. So
Right.
I might as well leave. It makes it easier that way. Yeah. So I get to London, single, living in Knightsbridge, horny, making 250,000 pounds a year. Lots of relationship, and then one in particular, because I ended up meeting a girl, ended up having a child there, and
You did pumpation.
I like
Pumpation.
pumpation.
Elton John.
No.
That's a different.
Neither.
Was she young? How old was she?
Yeah, she was young. She was 24.
Oh, you're rocking the cradle.
I think you gotta go to jail. Tony.
Yes,
Oh,
no.
that's
I
it.
think 16 is jail. 24 is still okay.
Yeah, 24 is still okay. That's good. So
Yeah. I have a son. His name is Gianluca.
That's
He
cool.
lives in France.
How old is a compadre John?
Compadre Gianluca is 10 years old.
Oh, that's not. He's smart.
Yeah,
kid, eh?
yeah.
Beautiful kid.
Beautiful kid.
Hmm.
So that's funny. I was telling you a story. So I think I made a child every 10 years. So one in the 70s, one in the 80s, one in the 90s, one in the 2000, and one in 2010.
that's I don't know if that's a record to be proud of, but hey,
Hey,
listen,
whatever, it happens.
The
But
more,
I'm happy.
the
I'm
more
happy.
white people on the planet, the better. That's what I say.
You say Italians, nobody's making babies.
Well, they're not.
I got 5.
There you go.
Tony G does have one baby every day.
Hey, and
Every
my father
decade. How about this
says
decade?
4 boys.
You only got
I got 4 boys.
You only got 5 years left, dude. You got to get going here.
No, look, I had a chance. So I had a girlfriend in London that,
Yeah.
before I came back, they wanted exactly that. She was young, 31, and she wanted to have children.
Pumpation?
She wanted patient and childration. And I said,
Childration?
no more childration.
No more childration.
That's a little fool, Rick Fool.
No, I'm gonna know. They're not like you, the little one.
Le palle sono sempre, come si dice, what are you looking at?
I'm
You
looking
on a
at
time
limit.
limit?
No, I'm not a
Don't
time
worry, we
limit.
have a control here. We have everything.
Yeah.
Everything is under control because. So what made you leave there? Did you get evicted? Like what happened?
No, I didn't get evicted,
How'd you
so
get, you had
I-
a green card over there, a blue card.
Yeah,
or-
I had
The Euro
permit.
passport?
No, first of all, I was resident dom, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was with a Romanian girl, I got like a landing card that I could stay there as long as I wanted to.
Right. Why? What's got to do with Romania?
But Romania at that time, Romania was part of the EU because I was with her and I was considered married, even though I wasn't.
But didn't
we-
you have the Italian passport?
No, the Italian passport I didn't have. No.
But you could have gone there because of you know.
Yeah, but I never had the Italian passport.
He doesn't need the Italian passport. He had the Italian sazizzo.
That's it. If you have the salsiccia, then you get the Romanian.
So what happened is,
and you get Romaine lettuce salsiccia.
yeah,
and that's it.
Fruit and vegetable.
That's fucking beautiful. That's you get all the
yeah.
food
So what
groups.
happened there? Brexit
Yeah.
also reneged my status because now they're not part of Europe anymore.
And you're not-
and
and you're not
and
Muslim.
COVID,
And
and
you're not Muslim.
and COVID, right? So COVID, I was doing a lot of business, special order, made to measure. I was flying all over the world, and I couldn't do anything for 2 years. So, and then my children here. I got 4 children. My mother's still here, so they say come back. So I came back.
So all your kids are 10 years apart.
Yeah.
See, I do mathematics.
54, not 40, 50, 35. The other one is 30, 32,
See?
24, and 10.
50. Who's the fuck is 50? Oh, Cody. I
Cody
forgot
Guile.
about Cody. Holy shit.
He's going to be 50 next
Holy
year.
shit.
77,
that was
right?
a good guy. Yeah,
He's
man.
born in
Wow.
77.
That was early pumpation for you then.
Early first, yeah.
That's when the salsiccia was working full
I was 20 years.
with the
20 years old.
oil. They give it the power.
The power.
It says it's in the oil.
Yeah, that gives you the power. Wow.
Comes out tonight and smooth.
It was so smooth. Like I could come smooth for sure. Yeah. So you're back now and Wow, that's quite a journey, eh?
It's
so
quite a
what's
journey.
any
So I'm back.
regrets? Any regrets in your
No
journey?
regrets. I think
Because you're back into the clothing industry.
I'm back. I have a store up in Yorkville called OTTO, the same name that I had in London.
And who's is that your store or you work for?
No, I'm in partnership with the guy George Ellion that we used to be together
okay.
all the time.
So how's he
right?
doing, that guy?
He's good. He's good.
Okay,
He's good.
Say hello from.
I live across the street, so I have to
you
walk
live
very
down
far.
there?
Yeah, so I live at the Minto, which is
Yeah, fuck.
I walk across the street. That's my commute to work. Where
So
for
do you,
25
rent in
years,
there, or do you?
I rented. Yeah,
Yeah.
for 25 years I used to drive 25 years up and down from Woodbridge to go to work.
Too far.
Yeah, now I walk across the street.
I told Tony, I just met you today, but if I would have met you a long time ago, I would have given you Rokarum Hamuda special aerobic training. Then you could do
Fly.
like me. I run from Toronto to Barrie to Vancouver to go see my daughter. I jog there. You could have jogged from Woodbridge, which is a suburb of Toronto, by the way, north to west.
Yeah.
You could jog from Woodbridge, downtown Toronto, and back 26 minutes.
Yeah.
No traffic.
No, but you can do it.
Yeah.
It's done. It's documentation.
For the nation.
That's right. So wow. So you're in the clothing business. No regrets. Quite a journey, eh?
Yeah, no regrets. Actually, something funny. A friend of mine just asked me the same question. Best years of your life.
Which ones were?
And everybody thinks they were the young years, but they're not, actually. They're the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Tony. Me too, because I think we're getting closer to death.
Yeah, so we enjoy them more. La morte vicina.
Oh, you got to eat the vitamins.
La morte vicina.
My friend asked me a nice philosophy question the other day. My friend Claudio.
Claudio
What's
who?
the two? No, not that.
Oh, not that Claudio, the guy with the eavesdropping guy.
Yeah, he's another guy.
He's coming on Sunday, by the way.
Oh, we're gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, eavesdropping.
I want to ask you one thing. I'm very curious to hear your response. What are the two most important days of every human being's life? What do you think?
When you're born and when you die.
Okay, not bad. Hey, you, Tony and Compro, what's the two most important day of your life? Eh?
The most in the past or the just
The
generally?
two most important day of a lifetime. What do you think that's gonna be?
For me, I don't know. I have too many important days. I can't narrow it down. I'd say, I don't know, the day I was born.
Eh?
That's the most importante day.
That's a good one, yeah.
Because, you know,
It's a good
the
one.
world changed. And the day I got first pumpation.
And the first pumpation.
Yeah.
Those are two good
It's
days.
good. Yeah, very
For me,
good.
anyway.
Well, my friend gave me an interesting perspectivo.
Yeah.
He said to me, the two most important days are the day you're born and the day you realize why the hell you came here.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
realized yet?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
when I realize I'm Rokarum, I smash walls. I feel contentment 100%. I have no regret.
I don't know. That's a good one. I still don't know why I'm here.
Well, some people take a long time. You don't have to figure it out. It's going to come by itself.
that's right.
See, for example, Tony G. He's the number one on top of the world. He doesn't care. Once you have no regret, that means you live your life solid, the way you like to enjoy your life. You don't have no regret to your life, Tony Compro.
No, I don't.
See? So you live a good life.
Yeah, that's why we're
For
still
me,
here.
I'm growing trees, just like that Passengers movie. I grow trees indoors. What?
See? That's
You
very
know what I mean?
important.
Look at my
Come ti
office.
piace
You know what I mean? I
l'albero.
make it look like nature in the indoors here. In the great.
We have something very common. The guests we have so far on the show, everybody says the same thing. They have no regrets. They're not regretful. Bobby doesn't have no regrets.
Bobby, that was a character.
Chuck don't have no regrets. Tony G don't have no regrets. Eh?
I know. How
Good,
about
you picked the right
how
people.
about Michael Ciccone? Did you listen to the Ciccone thing I sent
No,
you?
no, I will listen.
You should listen to it.
Ciccone, he didn't have no regrets to it.
Abruzzese boy, huh?
Huh?
No, Napoleon.
Napoletano,
Ah,
Ciccone,
Ciccone.
Napoletano.
Ciccone, he was the cousin of Madonna.
Yeah, she's
Your first
Abruzzese.
cousins.
He said he first cousin.
Yeah.
He said he was first cousin.
Yeah.
Third cousin.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact,
there are 12 cousins.
maybe they're kissing cousins.
Oh, I don't know. Mike is he had some good stories about I gotta listen to that show. It's
I'm
an
gonna
interesting
listen
show.
to it. I'm
So
gonna
listen, people out there, you can we don't promote this enough, but Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, you can get this podcast. If you're listening, tell your friends, iHeart, and on YouTube. Huh? hopefully we got the audio right because, we're still experimentation over here.
Sempre.
Because I think, I don't know, things break. I just learned a lesson today. You got to back up equipment and things. This break, that thing doesn't work. That. I got to have backup, eh?
Well, if you don't have a backup, it's going to sound like you can't put it on iHeart. You got to put it on iFart.
You got to put on iCulo, that's for sure. iPart, yeah. I like. That's the Italian podcast, eh? iCulo.
Cool, that's a good one. In culo is even better.
Yeah, la faccia di bocca, libro, faccia libro.
And they have Facebook in Calabria, they have La Facebook.
La festa tesoro book. Yeah, right on. So, any plans for the future?
No plans for the future. Just enjoying life, traveling
How's
quite a
your
bit.
golf game?
My golf game is quite good. Still 14 handicaps.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that.
14 people get hurt.
I opened up a golf place down the street from here.
Oh, you did? A simulator play?
But a big bar
Yeah,
restaurant.
you told me. I got to come and check it
I
out.
got to check it out. Just down the street, right here.
All
It's
right.
called Tee Up Golf Lounge. If you guys
All
are
right.
listening, you should come and check it out. It's #1 professional, big
like
bar, 10,000 square feet. The best.
You bring your own clubs?
You can, or you can.
Oh, you
rent
had a
them there.
simulator. You're a simulator, right?
Yeah, I have moving floor plates.
Just
sand
like they're
straps.
doing now in
They actually hit off of real grass. and
no,
stuff.
but I'm saying they managed to change the greens and the
ours
sun
are all,
bunker.
our
Yeah, the same.
technology, the floor plates move to match the line.
Yeah,
of
it's
your plate.
great.
Yeah,
Good
it's
for
pretty
you,
cool
buddy.
technology. Yeah, Aiden runs it. My other son runs that business.
All right, I will definitely come.
Yeah, you got to come. Let me know when you're there. We have poker night there on Friday night.
That's all I need.
That's the.
Coach
we go-
Pacamuro.
we go like this.
He's hard.
It's called the poker night with the bent nose.
Yeah.
We even have an ATM in there for poker night. I shouldn't be saying
right.
that. So
Sounds
you know what I
good.
mean. Anyway, it was very nice.
Thank you for having me.
You and sorry for the delay in getting things rolling. And hopefully the audio it works out. So Tony Incomparable here, Rocco Rompamuro,
And Tony
G. We say
I love you and nobody else.
thanks for
See
listening.
you later. Yeah,
Ciao,
thank you
ciao,
guys.
ciao.
Thank you.